I'd like to welcome everybody to the October meeting of the Murfreesboro Parks and Recreation Commission. This time we'll call the meeting to order, and Mr. Tim Tips has agreed to lead us in the prayer and pledge of allegiance. Tim?
Dear Holy Heavenly Father, we come to you in prayer. We want to thank you for this day that we have. We thank you for the city in which we live. And Father God, we pray that you would provide us with the divine guidance that we need to go about the deliberations of this board. We pray that your watchful eyes would be upon this city, upon our city council and leaders, and that all that we do would be in the accordance with your will and for the best benefit of all of the citizens here. It's in Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Tim. Everybody should have received their packet earlier in the week. Contained in that packet were the minutes from our previous meeting, which was in August. This time, we'll entertain a motion for acceptance of the minutes or any changes that anybody might bring up.
Mr. Chairman, I so move that we accept the minutes as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are approved. We'll move now to new business. Item number 1 under new business is a consideration of a rock and a plaque for Bertha Kritzberg. Angela Jackson is going to tell us about that. Angela?
Hi, good afternoon. The Friends of the Greenway is a volunteer organization that has worked with us for many years in achieving the goals that we have for the Greenway. It's a wonderful volunteer organization, and they have requested to donate a tree rock and plaque to honor Miss Bertha Kritzberg for her contributions to the Greenway and to the community. Miss Kritzberg has been a longstanding supporter of the Greenways. She played a key role in its development. She's spent more hours than I can possibly count volunteering on the trail, leading hikes, wildflower hikes. Her edible wild food classes are always a favorite. She's been active with the Friends of the Greenway since its creation. And she's also taught outdoor recreation at MTSU. She does a lot of volunteer works, Girl Scouts, Elder Hostel, St. Clair Senior Center, elementary schools from campus schools. She has really, in her 90-plus years, done a lot for this community. She's been involved in the preservation and protection of a lot of important sites, including the Black Fox Wetland, the Columbia Cedar Glades, and Sunnyville State Natural Area. What the Friends of the Greenway Board of Directors has requested your approval for is to place a rock in her honor, and on that rock to affix a plaque. There's a photo in your packet of the rock itself. It's a pretty substantially sized rock, almost in the shape of like a bench, and it would be placed at the overall street trailhead. It will be underneath a shoe-marred oak that the Friends of the Greenway would also include as part of this, and the plaque affixed to the rock would read, "From a tiny acorn grows a majestic oak tree. This place on the Murfreesboro Greenway system is in honor of Bertha Kritzberg, conservationist, teacher, mentor, hero, and genuine example of the power each one of us has to make a positive change in the world." Donated by Friends of the Greenway, November 2010. We would also hold a small event at that site to dedicate the area to Miss Kritzberg. So I think it's a really good site. I think it'll be a nice and natural addition to the overall street trailhead of the Greenway system, and would like to support that recommendation and ask your approval to accept that as a donation and a dedicated area.
Thanks, Angela. Any questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman, just a couple. Is this the first such type of honorarium that we've done on the Greenway, or is this consistent, I guess, with, is this something we've done before?
It is unusual. There are other areas at Cannonsburg Village, for example, that have similar structures.
That honor individuals?
Yes.
Okay. Do we have to have any kind of protocol or criteria in the kind of people we choose to honor, or is that's for Ms. Baker?
I'm not familiar with that we have a policy in place. I know that we have done these before at various other sites and buildings, so I'll defer to Lenny.
Hibbs, what Ms. Jackson and I have talked about, these have been infrequent in the past, but it seems like we're getting more and more requests. We think this is an honorable request. We know Ms. Kritzberg. We think she's more than eligible for this honor, but we do think we need to set up a policy that has the guidelines, and we talked about going ahead and developing that policy, bringing it back to this commission for consideration in the future. But since lack of a policy at this point, we would request that you approve this.
Yeah, that would be, I mean, obviously from what the summary that we have here, she's made some outstanding contributions to this city, and I don't doubt that she's worthy of that. I just know that as you look around the country, sometimes we do things that seem like a great idea, and then there could be some ramifications. Why didn't you recognize so-and-so when we can't get into this issue of mountain monuments all over the Greenway or other parts of the city? So we need to at least think about having some kind of policy.
That's correct, and that was our discussion prior to bringing this to you.
I think that's a good idea. I agree with Tim.
Okay.
But in this case, I move to approve.
And I second.
Any discussion? Being none, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Angela.
Thank you.
Item number 2 is a survey question update, and Becky Johnson is here to talk to us about that. Becky, welcome.
Hello. How is everybody today?
Good. Hope you're well.
We're going to be running another survey like we did last year. We're going to try to do surveys annually so that we can, with our planning and whatnot, make sure that we're where we need to be as a department and where we need to go in the future. So our next survey we'd like to run from November 15th through December 15th of this year. And I submitted last year's survey for everybody to review. And I'm not going to go through all the questions, but I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of what all is in the survey. Questions 1 through 15, that is pretty much like our satisfaction section to gather information on how we're doing and where we need to improve. Numbers 1 through 3 is the overall satisfaction of our department. Number 4 and 5 deal with safety when visiting our facilities and our parks. 6 through 10 gather information on how the department is currently doing and where we need improvements and additions to the department. 11 wants to know, do we need to take steps to be more environmentally friendly? 12 through 14 concerns programming within the department. And number 15 is about marketing and how people find out about our department and our endeavors within. So that's that's pretty much most of the survey itself. The questions 16 through 22, that's our background information. And that section helps us determine if our results are representative of the whole community. But I gave them out to you so that if you had any concerns about the questions or thought maybe we were missing a question or needed to tweak it for our next survey, I wanted to give you that opportunity. You can also, if you still want to look through it, maybe give us a week, or I'll give you a week if you want to if you want to email anything to myself or the main office and let us know if there's any changes or additions you'd like to make to the survey. And we also, to kind of entice people to take the survey, we'd like to offer, we're going to do a drawing from those who participate and take the survey, and offer a 90-day family general pass for whomever we pick out of those that take it, just as a kind of an enticement besides just wanting to help improve our department. And that's a value of $150. So I believe I may need a motion from you to let us know if we
It's
can
also going to
proceed.
be available online.
It will be available online again through Constant Contacts like we did last time, and we will also offer a paper version at our facilities for anybody who can't get online or would rather just fill a paper one out. So we'll do it both ways to make sure that we get maximum participation.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
I have one, go ahead.
go ahead. Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, what we're looking for is feedback from the commission members to tell us if there are other areas that you would like to see us survey, information that you would like to have in trying to make decisions on how our department moves forward, whether that's additional facilities or additional programs or whatever. We'd love to have your input on what you'd like to see on this survey. So that's the purpose of bringing it to you at this point.
Well, there is one area that I think needs to be addressed. In light of this recession, I think there needs to be some input on the different fees and how people are feeling it.
Okay.
Because I know a lot of folks are impacted right now, and the way they spend money is a little different than it was 2 or 3 years ago. And I think their opinion would be very important.
Okay, we definitely could do a question on the cost and the fees.
Good point.
I think it probably would be nice to have, we've got like an area up underneath each individual section for comments, but I think it would be nice on the back of the survey to have additional comments, so that way if it's something that people want to let us know that's not on the survey, that they can write and give us some other feedback.
And then that way if we're missing something, it's still covered.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Would it be too much, when we talk about athletics, for example, we've got several different sports programs that are being operated at a lot of different facilities. Is it too much to break that out?
Well, we do, separate from this survey, we do program evaluations that
Okay.
we do ongoing that kind of evaluate each specific program, because there are so many out there, the whole genre. So we could consider breaking it down a little bit by category, but we do those specific evaluations.
Well, I know, when you get into these types of
what
things, you want to
exactly-
kind of I know you need to try to keep it
Yeah.
short.
And that was some of the discussion we had when we went through and did the original, and we really got too lengthy. We were afraid that if we got too much, that people wouldn't take the time to fill it out. So we tried to make it to where when you get online, you spend just enough time that you don't feel like, well, gosh, how long is this thing? How much time do I need to spend? But I'm interested in what your thought process is with the breakout. Where do we?
Well,
need to-
I guess my issue, this won't be used when it comes to fees, just as Mr. Ruger brought up, that as well as just some concerns and feedback that I've gotten from the public about certain programs, and perhaps we need to do a little digging into some of those things too to see if there's some other
All right.
issues that
Well,
we
if
need
you've
to
got
address.
some specifics, just email them to me,
I will.
and we'll try to get some information
Okay.
on that.
My last comment, it seems like 4 and 5 and 7 and 8 could be rolled into one in some fashion.
Okay.
It's good feedback. Any other questions or comments?
Good.
If there aren't any, I guess we probably ought to go ahead and do a motion for approval of the incentive program that Becky has presented to encourage folks to participate in the survey process.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Motion and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's approved.
Thank you.
Becky, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well done. Thomas Laird's going to come up and cover items 3 and 4 for us. He's going to give us an update on the Halloween Bash and talk about youth basketball signups.
Of course, October is always exciting. basketball registration, getting ready for the upcoming season. And then, of course, the Barfield Bash, the Halloween Bash, is next week. And Old Scream Road, the Murfreesboro's scariest hayride ever. Actually, the only one, but it is the scariest, so we're not joking there. But that's October 20th. Next Wednesday night, it kicks off from dark till 9, and it runs Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. That's the 20th through the 23rd. So school groups, church groups, youth groups, anyone that wants to come out. Wednesday and Thursday is a good night to come out without the big long lines and stuff. We usually finish right at 9 o'clock, but we'll sell tickets right up till 9 each night. Regardless of how long the line is, we'll make sure everyone gets to ride through there. We've added tractors and trailers as this thing continues to get bigger each year. The actual bash with the carnival, music, the cakewalks, the not-so-haunted trail, all of that will be that Friday and Saturday, the 22nd and 23rd. And the not-so-haunted trail, we've actually last year, Rachel Singer partnered with Read to Succeed to coordinate it with a children's book. And Angela, do you know the book this year?
It's called Room on the Broom.
So it should be exciting. And they're going to actually run the Not-So-Haunted Trail at 4 o'clock, starting an hour earlier every year because the number of participants has grown. So if you want to get in without having to wait in lines, you got really young children, I suggest folks come out about 4. And that way they can get through that, and then the carnival will open at 5 as usual, and they can enjoy the rest of the night's activities without having to wait in lines with small children. Once again, the next weekend, Friday, Saturday, it's a huge event. If you've never come out, please come out to this event. This is one that our entire department takes a hold on the community. There's 16 or 17 community organizations that will give out candy on the trick-or-treat trail. Carnival games, the Murfreesboro Baseball Association provides concessions, and it's really a festive, old-fashioned fall festival type activity. And I promise you that this haunted hayride will be scary. Any questions about the Barfield Bash?
Anybody have any questions?
Yes. Where and how much?
It's at Barfield Crescent Park. The actual event itself is free. Now, we do charge 50 cents per ticket for the carnival games, but it's similar to Chuck E. Cheese. You win ghost dollars. Kids win ghost dollars and trade them in for prizes, and they always come out with a big haul. The Not-So-Haunted Trail is $3 per person, and that's adults and children. And then the Haunted Hayride is $5 per adult child, $5 flat rate ticket. That's pretty inexpensive when you compare $15, $20 in Nashville to go through one of these haunted houses. So it's very reasonable, very affordable. This is our 9th year of doing this, and we've never raised prices. So and we've always come out and done real well and covered the cost of the event. Coca-Cola serves kind of as a sponsor since they're the product for Barfield Crescent Park. They provide us with a pretty substantial sponsorship to help cover the cost of this event. Any other questions?
Thanks, Thomas.
Also, as you know, basketball season is just around the corner. We're doing youth basketball registration for kids ages 5 to 15 throughout the entire month of October. During the week, folks can register at SportsCom from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. or the main office at Barfield from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Then we'll have, if you would like to register, you have questions for our league representative, we'll have league representatives at Patterson and SportsCom this Saturday, the 16th, and next Saturday, the 23rd, from 10 to 1 p.m. And that's if you have questions about the league or special requests and you need to put on your form or just want to talk to one of us and questions, we'll be there to answer them in person. But you can always call the athletic office at 907-2251 to have any of your questions answered. The cost of basketball this year is $50 as a prior approval. We will offer 8 games with the tournament included in that, and so as you progress through the tournament, some teams may have the opportunity to play 11 games, but everyone will be guaranteed to play 8 games. We provide uniforms and trophies for all the kids and participants. And it's a really good program. It's one of our biggest programs, I think, for the entire department, and we really put a lot of effort into that, and we continue each year to take feedback from the general public and try to make it better each and every year.
Thomas, have we added any gyms this year?
We're trying to add 2 more, and hadn't worked out all the details, but our goal is to add 2 more gyms in the 9 and 10-year-old division and the 7 and 8-year-old division, so that we can offer a little more practice time and a little more space there. I know in the 7 and 8 division we were practicing 4 teams at a time per practice time. So we're going to try to add 1 more gym so we can split that up. There were 18 teams in each one of those divisions last year, so which that's good. It makes for exciting tournament time. We want to make sure everybody gets adequate practice time, and so we'll add hopefully 2 more. If the numbers grow beyond what we anticipate, we may even have to add more.
Okay. Any questions for Thomas?
It's not a question for basketball, but that sounds great, Thomas. And just wanted to mention that our youth football is in full swing right now. We're right in the middle of that season, and it's awesome over there. And I'd like to mention, I think I saw Coach D. Jernigan's team win in the final play of the triple overtime last night. Is that correct?
I still haven't recovered.
That triple overtime sounds like an Oakland Riverdale game, but
it's a great environment, and I think everybody that's there has a good time.
It's awesome.
Basketball's the same way. It's just fun being around our programs. They're a lot of fun.
Mr. Chair, if I could, at this time while Thomas is still at the podium, make an announcement that he has been selected as our new athletic superintendent. We took applications and went through a selection process, and Thomas has been selected, and I want to congratulate him on his new appointment.
Well deserved. Congratulations, Thomas.
Thank you.
Also to mention that his office is now located at McFadden, and we've consolidated athletics at McFadden. So the number that he gives goes to the Consolidated Athletics office. So it's a one-stop shop we're trying to create in athletics.
I think Thomas will, and Thomas knows this from dealing with the different organizations, that is one of the toughest jobs that we have in Parks and Recreation, because you're dealing with, competitive situations, whether it be basketball, or we just got finished with baseball out at Barfield with NBA, and so now I've had the experience of participating in Optimist and NBA, and you're dealing with people's kids, and you're dealing with them in competitive situations, and
I'm very passionate.
so I will tell you, good luck with that. We're proud that you're there.
Thank you. And I want to encourage everyone to come out. Gary Arvitt's our new director at McFadden, and we're really putting an emphasis on athletics and getting programs in there. Not all athletics, but we want to encourage folks to come out and take advantage that we have the gyms open each afternoon and after school programs. So, if you need to do some running around, some shopping and whatever, run errands and stuff, McFadden is open every afternoon from 3 to 8, and we'd be glad to have them and get them involved in programs there.
Good job, Thomas.
Thank
Thank you very much.
Good, and that is a free program.
Nate Williams is up. He's going to talk to us about aquatics at Patterson and some swim lessons. Nate, welcome.
Y'all doing okay?
Well, how about you?
I'm doing great.
Good.
I'm here to talk to you guys about the event formerly known as Splashiker. Now we're calling it our Spooky Splash at Patterson. It's a neat event. It's unique for Halloween. We allow kids to come into the pool area. We do a little haunted house for them at the beginning. It's a really fun event. This year we're adding some carnival games. We're going to add some crafts. We're going to do a pumpkin carving contest, and at the end of that we'll have some open swim time, and we'll be able to show a movie at the end of the night in the water, on top of providing the kids with pizza and some snacks and stuff. So this event is next Friday night. It coincides with the Barfield Bash, so if people can't get over to Barfield, they can come to Patterson. It's a pre-registration is required. We've got about 30 out of 50 spots filled so far, so there's some availability. It's October 22nd from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. at Patterson, and that cost is $7. And it is for ages 7 to 13. We have to put age limit on there, but I'm anticipating that event will fill up just like it's done in the past, and we're really excited about it. So I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have about that event, or tell you to bring your kids. It's a lot of fun.
How many people are you anticipating?
We cap it at 50.
Oh, at 50, okay.
Yeah, just for the crafts, and usually we hover right around that number. So our staff is involved with the Haunted Trail quite a bit at Barfield too, so we're kind of both places, and it's going to be a good event again this year, and I encourage anybody who's interested in a unique opportunity to participate in some Halloween activities. It's a really unique way in the water. So, any questions? Come on out. It's a lot of fun. Next thing is I wanted to talk about is swim lessons. We're cranking up our fall session of swim lessons. One of the added benefits, I think, of the dramatically increased patronage at the outdoor pool this summer has been an increased awareness in swimming, and just frankly, parents saw how the little ability that their kids had to swim. So we had them out at the facility this year, and usually in the fall we'll run our classes. About 50% of the classes will be full. Now we're up to about 75% of our classes are full, and I think that's just a benefit of having a lot more people visit. And it's just one of those things you don't rarely get to see or quantify, but it's just a unique thing that's happened this year. We start up. We have October lessons going on. We do individual swim lessons. We're starting our November registration later this week. Every year we take December off for swim lessons just because it's so busy, but we're actively registering for all classes. Swim preschool, which is at Patterson Park, it's ages 6 months to 4 years, and then the Swim Academy, which is at Sports Common, it's ages 5 to 13. We also do adult lessons, which has gained a lot in popularity. So we have classes registering all the time. I encourage anybody who's interested to give us a call at either facility. We'll be happy to help you guys out. Any questions?
You guys also do lifeguard certification?
We do. We had our fall lesson, or our fall certification class in September. It's the third weekend in September.
Okay.
Our next class will take place in February. Will be the next one. Those were the ones that really start filling up. We'll have those out for registration in December for lifeguard classes.
Okay. Any questions? Thanks for the update, Nate.
Thank you.
Sheila Hodges is here with us today to talk about Harvest Days and Fiber Festival.
Sheila is she is tied up, and Miss Jackson's going to cover that.
All right, Angela.
All right. The Harvest Days and Fiber Festival. We are going to have a busy October, as you can tell from this schedule. The Harvest Days is something that has happened at Canonsburg for years and years, and it is a way to celebrate fall in a true pioneer fashion. There will be old-time music and dance, hay rides, pottery demonstrations, broom making. You might need one of those for the following weekend, a good homemade broom. So that's a good point there. Blacksmithing, art and antique auto exhibits, and other fiber demonstrations. There'll also be some food and craft vendors there to make it more festival-like. That's on Saturday, October 23rd, from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Canonsburg Village. It is free admission to come to the Harvest Days and Fiber Festival event.
Great.
It's a great event. A lot of food, a lot of entertainment.
It's always a big crowd.
Big crowds.
Any other questions for Angela on this?
Just one. How long is that hayride in Canonsburg?
I'm telling you, it is a short but intense experience. It's really not that long. They do kind of circle around behind the farmers market area. I think cut across, go down the Greenway area.
Hooper's Supply and around.
Yeah, it's a very different experience from the hayride that you could have that evening at the with Thomas Zombie experience.
I asked the same question, Mr. Tips, and rode the hayride and was pleased with the experience.
Well, Thomas, with the scariness of your proposed scariness on the hayride, are we going to need to get Kelly to draft some kind of disclaimer?
It's already done.
Okay. And no pacemaker.
So if you couldn't hear that because Thomas wasn't on a mic, ages 7 and up is what we recommend. He says nightmares are the issue there.
Thanks for the update. Tell Sheila we missed her.
I have nightmares. I can't handle that.
Item 7, Terry Womack is here with us today. Terry, welcome. She's going to give us an update on the Christmas Treasury edition.
Well, right before I do that, I do want to tell you Sunshine Players has over 50 members already. We started in July. And we opened this weekend with Murdered Alive, which is a team production. We have 12 teenagers that are doing this show. And most of the shows the teenagers do are really shows that are designed for adult actors, so they really work on their craft in presenting this. So that's Friday and Saturday at 7, Sunday at 2. Then Monday at 6:30 is the auditions for the Christmas Treasury. It's open to ages 4 to 17. They have to become members, if not already, of the Sunshine Players, because our plays are for our members. But the Christmas Treasury is kind of a smorgasbord of stuff. There'll be some monologues, there'll be some little mini plays in there, there'll be some singing, there'll be some dancing, so kids of any talent just about could be involved in the Christmas production. And that runs December the 10th and 11th. We're not running on Sunday the 12th this year because that's Christmas parade, and we don't want to interfere with that, so we'll have 2 performances on Saturday the 11th, so that they get all 3 in there, but we'll do a Friday night, a Saturday afternoon, and a Saturday evening. So bring your kids out if you want to be in a play.
Any questions for Terry?
Terry, you doing Nutcracking this year?
Yes, we are doing Nutcracking. That's a hip-hop, jazz, rap, swinging version of the Nutcracker. We had auditions back in the summer. We have over 50 dancers. They're in dance practice now. We'll start the actual blocking and line rehearsal and stuff as soon as Murder Live is over. And it runs Thanksgiving weekend and the first weekend of December, so it should be pretty good. There are some adults in this show, so it's not really Sunshine Players. It's sort of a community-wide production that we're providing. So.
Great. Any other questions or comments? Terry, thanks for being here.
Thanks
you.
for
the update. Marlene Sewell's up next, and she's going to give us an update on all kinds of senior activities in October.
Yes, I'm going to do that. A couple of things that are not on your list, though, are we have a regular program on Wednesday afternoons called Big Buddies and Loomy Birds. I did not make that up. But the Loomy Birds part is that loom knitting. We teach that on a regular basis, and seniors can come and bring whatever they're working on, needlepoint, embroidery, whatever, and come and we just kind of all visit and help each other out. We've also started a beginning weaving class, which is on small rigid harness looms, and there are still a few openings for anyone over 60 who'd like to come and join us. But then there's the fish fry, which is this Friday night at 5:30. Admission is a salad, vegetable, dessert, or fruit for 10. We provide the fish and the cooking. There'll also be hush puppies along with that, too. And that begins at 5:30. We do request that you call the senior center and sign up so we can make sure there's enough fish. We're currently working on a waiting list, but more than likely those will all be able to come too. And then next Monday from 1 to 4 we're doing holiday shrink art. And shrink art, you think, oh no, we wouldn't want to do that, but the seniors love the shrink art too, and watching things kind of curl up and then glue back out. The space is really limited to 20, and I think there are still a few spaces on that. I do a regular craft program at the Senior Center each month. Next month we're making Christmas tree earrings and snowman earrings. So anybody who's 60 and over would like to come and join us on that, please call the Senior Center and sign up. Their number is 848-2550. And that's just really kind of a courtesy to us that they've been doing the registration for a very long time for us. And on October 21st, which is Thursday, from 11 to 2, we're not doing exactly Day in the Park. We're going to the carnival. So we'll be meeting at Barfield Crescent Park. The Mid-Cumberland Nutrition Program will be cooking out for us at 11. And so they do request that you call to sign up for that. And the lunch number is also the 848-2550. And so we have that. Allison Davidson, who is doing the carnival prizes for the Halloween Barfield Bash, has also gotten some prizes for the seniors, specifically for them. But we're going to play the games just like the kids do, and so we're doing that at the same time, or the day before we start the actual Halloween Barfield Bash. So the seniors get a chance to play too. And then, of course, the St. Clair Classics are doing their annual Halloween dance on October 22nd, which is Friday, from 7 to 10, and there is a $5 admission charge that the Classics charge for that event. And then, of course, what would be at the Senior Center if we didn't have a party for Halloween? So we're doing a Halloween party and Ghost Bingo on Friday, October 29th from 9 to 11 in the morning, and that is a Friday. You can come in costume or not, depending on your preferences for the day. And we're going to have games and activities and refreshments and have a great old time. And there'll be bingo. So we do ghost bingo that day, and the seniors love that. I'm going to stick in a little quick blurb for November's programs. We have potluck and bingo on November 18th from 5:30 to 8, and we're going to make the Christmas tree earrings and stuff on November 8th. And then if I could just sneak in a little thing for Sunday fun, since we're going to be making presents, the kids will be making presents that they can give away to their families for the holidays on November 14th. That's a Sunday from 2 to 4, and we'll be at Old Fort Park Pavilion 3. Any questions?
Any questions or comments from Marlene?
So anybody here 60 wants to come play with us? There's always room for more. Thank you.
Thanks, Marlene. Appreciate you being here. Last item under new business is a benchmark of completion update for July, August, and September, and Lanny and Angela are going to go over that with us.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, what you have before you is a quarterly report. This year in the council's budget, there was implementations and priorities set up, actually 3 different priorities with budget goals for each department. And what you see is the 9 goals that were set up for our department. And the report on our progress for July, September, and, July, August, and September. And just to go through these rather quickly, you can see that completion of construction of Phase 3 of the Stonesboro Greenway. Of course, that's under construction now, and it is looking like it's ahead of construction. And the renovation of Kids Castle, last time we came before you, we asked for approval for a grant. We've received a $150,000 grant. Actually, going Monday, Mr. Bratcher is going to be there at a check awarding ceremony at the Department of Environment Conservation. So that is moving forward. The bids on Phase 4. We've completed the property surveys, and we're into the appraisals now of the property, and hopefully soon next year we'll be able to start in the construction. We opened the newly renovated outdoor and indoor pool. Just to give you some highlights, there were over 63,611 visitors at SportsCom, which was a 79% increase in our visitation from 2009. Total revenues for those 3 months was $215,124.87, which was a 129% increase in revenues compared to last year. And we did open the indoor pool on September the 16th. So both of those pools are complete, and we are working ourselves through the punch list and trying to get those completed. Today at the commission meeting, you've heard reports on a lot of our different programs. We do offer a wide variety of programs. Some of the things are summer camps, or summer programs, or training programs, or family activities for children to adults. Our summer kayaking club, we had over 300 people enjoy Boat Day. Movies on the Stars, of course, we do that 5 nights a week. That's a very popular program. Our program that we work in partnership with the Murfreesboro Fire Department, our splash outs. You just heard a report on some of our senior programs. And then our field trips that we have, whether we're either going on field trips with some of our participants or they're coming to us participating in field trips, our numbers have been very good. Opportunities for other types of programs that involve sports and culture. Of course, you just heard Terry talk about the Sunshine Players. We had a triathlon for youth, which was very well received. We had a basketball clinic for children with special needs. And then we have a host, a variety of fitness and wellness programs. You just heard about our swimming lessons in our report, we list the athletic different organizations and sports that we offer. If you add those numbers up, that's over 6,000 people that participated in our sports programs. If you look at the different things that we've done, Hershey's Track and Field is one of those programs. We had over 320 athletes compete in a three-tiered event. Our new tennis complex, we've had several tournaments. Our city tournament it continues to grow. We had over 200 people in our city tournament this year. We had 110 youth compete in a junior team tennis. And then we had a new one that was the campus club tennis, which was universities from across the southeastern United States compete at our facility. One of the other goals that we created was to have special events. Our Independence Day, we had, I would estimate, somewhere over 30,000 folks that watched the fireworks this year. We've had the National President's Cup for National Youth Soccer, which was a huge event. We had over 2,000 participants participate in a recreational event at Patterson, and we had, I think, 36 or so different states represented from across the United States. Cannonsburg hosted the 33rd annual Uncle Dave Macon Days. We had over 35,000 people participated in that. National Night Out, we were hosted 5 different sites, 3 that we ran, and then 2 that were run by neighborhood organizations in Oakland and Rogers. Our Greenway Arts Festival is at Old Fort this year, which was a huge success. And then our department hosted the 59th annual Tennessee Recreation and Parks Association Conference, which was held at our new Embassy Suites Conference Center. And we had 250 delegates and probably another 250 representatives that were representing their companies there. So over 500 people that participated in that. Of course, we provide rentals for our residents. We had in that period of time 372 different shelter reservations. And then if you look at the rentals at Patterson, there was over 390 rentals at Patterson. We're listed the ones at Sportscom and at the Gateway Island. And then we had rentals at all of our other facilities as well. We do anticipate some improvements to our facilities in the capital improvements program, and you can see one of the goals is to renovate the old Ag Center and make that the new office for the Parks and Recreation administrative staff. So those are just a brief review, and we did not list everything on there. Probably take 10 or 12 pages just to put all the activities that we have, but wanted to bring that to you just to give you a highlight of what we submitted, and that is going to City Council. Any questions on that?
Yes, sir. One question. Back to the Kids Castle. I believe back from the August meeting, you all had spoken about I think the estimated cost was going to be about $400,000 to renovate that, and that y'all were applying for a matching grant, a 50-50 match. And is this that 50-50, which is instead of 200 is actually 150?
That's correct.
What will we do with that shortfall?
Well, what we'll have to do is we'll go back in and we'll look at our budget. What the Department of Conservation received around $10 million requests for grants. They had $3.5 million. So to kind of more or less spread the wealth, so to speak, and honor more grants, they lowered that cap. And so we actually, I think, got what I consider the maximum amount for that project. So we'll go back in, we'll look at what we need to do to bring that within budget. We'll need to work on those budget details with the Department of Environment Conservation in the resubmittal. But I think it's still going to be an excellent project.
So we're going to cut $50,000 from the expenses? Or are you going to have to try?
There were some amenities. If you remember, we put in there a small shelter that would be a part of that. We probably cut that out.
Okay.
Improvements to the picnic grounds around that, we'll probably cut that out. And so that brings it back to where it's just truly just playground at that point. And there was some money in there for architectural engineering services. So we'll need to look at that line item particularly.
So, I mean, we basically have to come up with about $100,000 in cuts, aren't we?
About $100,000, right.
Okay.
And again, let me emphasize, and I think you asked this the last time, we have had no more than 10, maybe 15 different companies contact us since this announcement. Some of them are the original builders of Kids Castle, Others and Associates. There's another group that has started that has the original designer for Kids Castle that has contacted us. We've had other playground manufacturers that has contacted us. And we have contacted some of the original committee that was involved in Kids Castle, because one of the things that we've said is our approach to this will be to develop an RFP to send out to these different playground manufacturers and let them submit back their ideas in terms of what we're telling them we want for playgrounds. Of course, low maintenance is one of those, the age groups that would be affected. But we want to preserve the integrity of what was started 15 years ago and try to do that for the community. And so getting those folks back involved, letting them be a part of that selection, and then if there's some fundraising efforts within the community, we may be back to that level of project. So we're going to go through that process, and we're going to see where that process leads us, but we want that to be a citizen-driven process that involves the community. So this playground, which was a community-built playground, will remain a community playground.
Thank you.
Good question. Any other questions or comments?
I've got a couple of announcements,
Okay.
Mr. Chair. At the recent Tennessee Recreation and Parks Association conference, we were awarded 10 different awards. We would have had those awards today, but Mayor Bragg was out of town, so we're trying to make those arrangements and have an award ceremony probably in November. The other thing that we're very proud of is we were awarded our Tier 3 certification through the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation, and we are the first department in the state of Tennessee to receive a Tier 3 award for benchmark.
That's awesome.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Okay. That's it.
Well, they were all well-deserved awards. We tell you guys all the time how proud we are of it, and we know we've got certainly the best in the state, if not the country. So we're proud of you guys.
Thank you.
Got a big event coming up this weekend, don't you?
Have a big event coming up this weekend, the 4th annual Murfreesboro Half Marathon. We have over 2,500 runners participating. So if you live in the downtown area or around Mercury or Rutherford Boulevard, look for the signs. It'll tell you basically the times. The run starts at 7 a.m. in the morning, goes for 3.5 hours. Basically, we stop around 10:30, but the events will continue probably until around 12 because we have closing events. But it's a huge event. Melinda Tate, who is the race director, does a great job, and we sold out this year. We set a goal for 2,500. I think we sold out about 6 weeks ago. So that's closed. We've got Murph as the sponsor of the Kids Fun Run this year. So that's going to be a lot of fun. We probably have close to 200 kids participating in the Fun Run. They'll do 1 mile right after the start of the half marathon. So we've got a lot of children's activities set up, and it's going to be a great event. We got people coming from Shane, what would you say, 20 different states, over 20 different states participating in this run?
We have many different age groups, including the wheelchair division, a master's division, which are, is 50 to 50 and up age group. So we've got a great turnout. I think the one thing for people to be aware of that the route, you can go to themiddlehalf.com and you can see the route, but One Goal Sports has soccer that goes on at Bel Air and St. Mark's, so I think it's good to be cognizant that Las Casas Road is one of our routes that we go, as well as down.
And it is one of the last legs of the race.
So Rutherford Boulevard would probably be the ingress and egress that you'd want to take and try to stay off of Old Las Casas Road.
Right.
Well, I'm going to call it New Las Casas Road because it's a new road.
It's a new road, but
the new Old
it's
Las
called
Casas Road.
New Old. But it should be a great event. Like Mr. McFarland said, be sure and go on Murfreesboro middlehalf.com. Look at that race route. It's a great event, and you can't say enough about it. But
and Chairman, I would say that there's a huge volunteer base that will be out there working on Saturday, but that does not even begin to tell you the number of hours that Parks and Recreation and the staff will be out there at 3:30 and 4 o'clock in the morning putting out cones and barrels, and so it takes a huge effort to put this race on, and it now has become one of the largest half marathons in the state. It's become sort of a premier event that when we can sell out a half marathon in record time, and we keep bumping the registration up every year. So
we started at 1,000.
Started 1,000.
Yeah, 1,000, and then it's gone up to 2,500. And hey, who knows? One of these days we could have 10 or 15,000 people running.
And we went 1,000, then 1,500, then 2,000. This year we're at 25, and we sold out.
Well, if we could, for the next meeting, we would like a graphics display of Shane's time, how he fell in his age group, and then overall.
Yeah.
And if we get some video footage of him running, we would appreciate that too.
Usually Channel 3 is there.
We'd like a progressive video, mile 1, mile 5, and then the finish. Good luck, Shane. We know you'll make us proud, buddy. Any other business?
I have one question, and I don't know if this is the proper venue for that, but I was notified of a potential security episode that happened at the Siegel Soccer Complex this week, where a man was seen coming out of a women's restroom, and that there was a young child in there. And I was wondering if y'all were made aware of that, if there was anything, if anybody's done any investigation into that.
I haven't heard of that.
Okay.
I heard of some vandalism there this week, but I haven't heard of that. But we will check into it.
Okay.
I'm out there all the time. I haven't heard anything about it. I mean, I would think news like that would circulate amongst the parents like wildfire. So
usually Thomas is the one that gets it, and he said he hasn't heard of that. So
okay.
We will definitely check into that.
Important information. Anybody have any other business to come before us?
Move we adjourn.
No one second that? Elsie? All right. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Stand adjourned. Thank you.